Chapter 11. I come not to destroy. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. The I, when it is once discovered and recognized as the point where the invisible becomes visible, comes not to destroy, but to fulfill the vacuum of human thinking. All evil is but the vacuum of belief, belief in a place or condition where God is not. And the presence of God does not come in any manner to destroy a vacuum, but to fulfill it or make itself visible. Hell is a vacuum of burning beliefs which can only be dissipated by the recognition of the presence. If I make my bed in hell, thou art there. And where thou art is heaven. Only this has to be recognised. The old firefighting which takes place in the minds of many leaves many scars and a heavy smell of smoke on the garments of those who participate in this battle. The becoming aware of the presence causes the vacuum and its imaginary power to be dissolved. Hell is the collective name for all evil. It is the burning, destroying imagination plus all the fear and judgment from outside appearances. Whether it be a toothache or an earthquake, both of them represent a vacuum in belief, a place where this presence is apparently absent. Yet there is no such place possible except in the imagination. Heaven and earth are filled with Thee, and there is no possible place or condition into which one can enter when I go before you and prepare the way. That is not eternally true and probable by the simple recognition of the presence and the disregarding of the vacuum of imagination, no matter in what form it is showing itself. It is not your duty to be overcoming evil in the generally accepted sense of the word, remembering that he who taketh the sword shall perish by the sword. Your overcoming will be the natural recognition of the presence. The manifestation can take care of itself. And verily the hell of sickness and disease will vanish at the instant of this recognition. And his father, seeing him a long way off, the very recognition of the presence will cause an instant uprising to take place and a movement toward the manifestation. It is wonderful when you begin to see that it is the natural thing taking place instead of the unnatural. So long have we been handling relative beliefs that they have become the order of things, governed by the laws of matter, and God and his universe have become unnatural, occasionally and at best miraculous. What progress can you hope to make with such an intangible set of laws as the God laws viewed through the eyes of the relative? If it is not natural for the presence to come into visibility by the recognition, then is our preaching vain and we are hopeless indeed, for through what prayer or anguish will he respond? Can you imagine anything intelligent or satisfactory coming out of mathematics if we were the least uncertain as to whether the law of addition would work for certain people or not. We know that any man who thirsteth can come to the fountain and drink, just as any man can use with impunity the law of mathematics. But he must first recognize this law, honour and obey it with all his soul, mind and body, if he is to get results from it. The law then works quite naturally, and the results do not surprise the man. He knew that the answer existed before he started, but through the glass darkly, he could not see it. I knew that these things were before I said, "Thank you, Father." So do you begin to understand that until the power becomes as natural as the law of mathematics, you will perpetually try to work it? And the results will be called demonstration, which word has come to mean something that is rare, unexpected, unnatural, almost impossible. You cannot work with such a flimsy premise. There is no hope in it. If your prayer cannot be answered with the same ease with which the mathematical problem can be answered, because it has always been answered, you cannot see the seeming miracles take place. Awake, thou that sleepest, and Christ shall give thee light, is more and more becoming a command to awaken not to a new doctrine, but an awakening to a truth which does set free by showing you that you are already free. Whom the Son sets free is free indeed. The Son, in this instance, indicates the point of consciousness within you, where the invisible is being stepped down into the visible. If all this cannot be treated as the most natural, normal, unemotional event, it cannot take place with even regularity, and the kingdom of heaven will be an intermittent thing. There will be no steady flow of the power or the presence. All commotion and excitement will be replaced by the deepest emotion, the emotion of stillness. Be still and know that I am God is not a working of the truth. It is the point of pure recognition and revelation, and it is within every man. Do you begin to see the natural procedure that must take place before the kingdom of heaven can be revealed here and now? I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. For the first time, the thrill of life, coursing through the poor diseased imagination, begins to fill everything full by making itself visible. Behold, I stand at the door and knock, is the perpetual urge of the unseen or the unknown to be given a body and a form. But ye would not. I come not to destroy your body or temple, but to show you that I am the power which can pick it up or lay it down, which can cause the springs to rise in the desert and the low places to be exalted and the rough places to be made smooth and the crooked places straight. Do you hear? Do you begin to feel the presence and to understand what it is to recognize for a moment that nothing, no, not anything, is to be destroyed, but everything is to be fulfilled with the love of God, which only has to be recognized to change the imagination and shatter the belief that held it into its outline of ugliness? Even your enemy, your disease, your poverty are not to be destroyed, but to be fulfilled. To be filled with the substance of God. And this seemingly impossible thing takes place by recognition of the presence. Keep this naturally in your mind, or else the importance of it will overthrow you. Make it the most ordinary thing, remembering that the child has the gift of materializing his Father Christmas by accepting it as true, and that Jesus gave you the same formula to make God come into visibility in your life. Do not let any man whose breath is in his nostrils, filled with the terrible intellect of evil, take this precious simplicity from you. The wisdom of God is foolishness in the eyes of man, and the wisdom which fulfills and does not destroy anything in all my holy mountain is past understanding or reason. Search the scriptures, for in them ye think ye have life eternal. Little by little you will see just what is meant by this natural approach, this natural recognition. It will free you from all the surprise of manifestation. When you come to the place of naturalness of the presence, then the manifestation, whether instantaneous and outside of the order of man or not, will not surprise you. It will cease to be a demonstration, something to be repeated with wonder, and will be the holy presence lovingly showing you the way. I am the way, the truth, and the light. And when this comes a little more into the alignment of the natural and ordinary, your way will be one of manifestation. All the impossible things will be possible, for you have gone out from among them, whose chief business it is to tell strange and wonderful things. You will be experiencing them and considering them as the natural outpicturing of the presence. The fulfilling will begin its movement in you, and after that, any measure you hold before it, even the borrowed measures, will be filled full. All the terrible warfare, the hunting and fighting evil, will be gone. The glorious I come not to destroy but to fulfill will be a living proof of the presence in action. I come not to destroy your disease or belief, but to fulfill the temple and the dark shadows of belief with light. No matter how they have crystallized into ugly, immovable gargoyles of hard and fast laws, they will melt out of the pictures. You do not care what becomes of them, any more than the freed bird cares for its shell once it has spread its wings. That outline that was itself egg crumbles into the dust and is no more, even as the thin outline of your horrible problem crumbles into nothingness and is no more. The thing that made a bird an egg is completely filled with life, and as the Lord is magnified within, it expands to the limit of the belief and shatters once and for always the belief in egg. So is it when you recognize the presence of this power within you. It seems to expand as you become aware of it until it shatters the shell of belief which held the vacuum of your human thinking, and the place thereof is no more. Presently it shall not come into mind any more, and even shall not be remembered. The former things have passed away. They shall not come into mind nor be remembered any more. Formerly we went out to battle with the thing called evil. Now we have reduced it to the vacuum of belief in the absence of God. No matter how rampant it may be and how destructive in its manifestation, or how terrible in its dimensions, it is in the final analysis the absence of God. And this absence of God can only exist in the imagination, for God is omnipresent. He is not omnipresent to the human belief. That is why Jesus could do nothing of himself, and why he immediately went to the Father within his consciousness. The transmutation of hell to heaven is not a battle, but a revelation. The moment you become aware of the presence, the transmutation takes place. The laws governing this are few. Take your attention away from appearances. Secretly, see that you tell no man. And the magnifying of the Lord. Having come to the place of acceptance of one God, the handling of belief ceases to be the handling of something real, and the attention formerly given to overcoming is turned full force into the fulfilling of the law. As the borders of your tent of consciousness are enlarged to the point of naturalness of the presence, you will see things happen which formerly were only entrusted to the special initiates and masters. When you awaken to the simplicity of the Christ truth, you will see that you have suddenly arrived at the point of much of this. Ho, every man gives you your carte blanche to enter into the Holy of Holies, your own Father consciousness, and begin filling full the vacuums of the hell of your life. It is wonderful, it is thrilling when you begin to walk with me and talk with me. For in some strange and glorious way, I begin walking with you and talking with you. Yea, even walking in you and talking in you and revealing to you many things which can never be voiced by the human voice or conceived by the human thought. I come to fulfill the thing called heaven on earth and to reveal it all to the one who is ready to see the presence of the one instead of the many. Behold, I make all things new. I make all things new, because the fulfilling is merely the revealing of the presence. And the presence, even as the full-fledged bird breaking from its egg, is new, and yet has absorbed its former self. So I make everything new. No more the pouring of new inspiration into the old human receptacles of human belief. No more the patching up of the old garments with the new cloth, but the wholly new revelation making itself manifest by the fulfilling of the law. I come not to destroy but to fulfill will thrill you and relieve you of all the hateful warfare with evil that has been going on. It will bring you to a true understanding of the non-resistance of the Christ mind within you, and make you understand the height and depth and majesty of this presence. It is wonderful. It is glorious. It causes the hosannas to rise from the very centre of your being and magnify the Lord of Lords and Host of Hosts. Within this glorious fulfilling lies the freedom of the sons of God, the liberty of the freeborn, the going into and possessing of the land. Yes, there is a rest for the people of God, a rest from the destroying of anything and a joyous expression of the fulfilling. It is amazing how many things will leap into expression at the coming of this understanding. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. Okay. A bit of a squabble going on at the moment out there. Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. Believest thou this? Do you think it is so? Answer me. Answer me. Is it so? At the moment of recognition of the presence, I come quickly into manifestation, bringing my reward with me. I do not come through the slow processes of human thinking. The moment of recognition causes the fulfilling to take place, and the reward is with me always. The reward for recognizing heaven in the midst of hell. Awake, thou that sleepest, and Christ shall give thee light. Awake and arise from the dead. The dead beliefs and appearances will fall away the moment you conceive the facts pertaining to you do not need to fight. Set yourself and see. All the integrity of recognition of the presence is brought to bear on this situation. The conscious recognition of the presence here, there, and everywhere. If there is anything in your life too terrible or horrible or awful to contain God, any person so terrible or degenerate not to be filled with His presence, any place so void of His presence as to be called hell, it is impossible for you to work from the basis of omnipresence, and hence you are shut out of the rich manifestation of Him. You may spend hours trying to force Him to enter into these situations from without, He will not enter a sick body and subsequently leave it well. He will not enter a sick business and leave it successful. Nor will he enter hell and change it into heaven. This is the old personal control method, which is thought to cause things to happen by the taking thought methods of yore. Unless he is always there and always will be there, there is nothing you can do or leave undone which will cause this to take place. Unless the presence is everywhere, it is nowhere as omnipresence. And the moment you see the naturalness of this wonderful truth, you will stop once and for always trying to control God and start a very successful campaign of recognizing Him. All the condemnation and hateful resentment will fade out. All the loathsomeness of evil will pass. God is in His holy temple. The whole earth is rejoicing, and His holy temple is the manifest world. Who are you to section it off into little patches called God temples, excluding Him from anything that does not conform to your narrow ideas of the universal? All the hellholes and sumps of evil from which you have been drawing away your holy robes are eternally hidden in your consciousness and will fester there until they are smashed to pieces by the recognizing of the presence. It is glorious when this rushing, gushing power passing through the universe, fulfilling and not destroying, comes to be understood by you. The whole creation of evil, which has existed and been sustained by your thought, falls to pieces. The surprise attack of it caves in. The glory of the risen Lord is being revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. Someone is shoveling up gravel out there, so if you can hear that, just, again, action is happening. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. I come to fill the diseased body of your imagination full of the vibrant life, which is even now searching the joints and marrow, and in the twinkling of an eye restores the radiant sound sense of life, which man calls health, to you. The most loathsome disease, then, is not something to be fought with. It is merely a shell outline held in the imagination by the recognition of the presence. It is shattered instantly, and the place and design thereof is no more. You have suddenly stopped feeding it with your thought, and it, being only as old as your last thought about it, disintegrates and falls into the dust of oblivion. Instantly it is unfed. It is wonderful, the way of oneness. I come not to destroy. No, not even that most hateful problem you have been fighting with so unjustly for so long. I come to fulfill. Do you hear? If I destroyed your problem and left you nothing in return, where would you be? But with the revelation of the presence which comes to fulfill, The line of imagination called evil, no matter however real, is automatically wiped out of the pictures. I come not to destroy but to fulfill. Put up your sword, remembering always that he who takes the sword shall perish by the sword. He who fights evil is still working with the two-power idea and fails to see God standing in the midst of hell. He goes on fighting the flames, at last being consumed by them. Because in that spot, in that vacuum where he believes God is not, only the fury of his belief can burn away. Heaven and earth are full of thee. What else is there? Evil? Go dip 7 times in the Jordan until all these theories of oneness and something else have been washed from you. And then you will understand how it is that I come not to destroy but to fulfill is true. And what it means to recognize the presence in the midst of your problem instead of trying to introduce it from the outside. Forget your wild ideas of destroying and begin the fulfilling. Fill everything full to overflowing with the presence, and you will stand and see the flames of your hell fade into soft rose-coloured hues of love. It is wonderful. Heaven and earth are full of thee. Where can you go from the presence? Answer me. And if you can at no time be out of the presence, whatsoever you find in that presence is yours. Whatsoever things ye ask for in my nature, that will I give unto you. It must be natural, it must be normal, it must be up and beyond the place of demonstration into the very realm of manifestation. The place of, before they call, I will answer. I come not to destroy but to fulfill. Do you hear? Remember, God is over all, even the stars, and that he came to fulfill, not to destroy. Call upon me, and I will answer. That is the end of chapter 11.